Hello to all the ladies and the gentlemen out there. I hope you are all doing well today. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a different setup going on here. The main change is that I have a full, real person-sized bed now. The drums are now here behind me and all of my guitars are over there to my right. This setup will probably change as time goes on and I figure out better configurations for things, but for right now we're testing it out and seeing how it goes. But the main thing that this video is about is I basically just discovered the Neural Amp modeler. And the Neural Amp modeler is essentially a free VST plugin that allows you to create emulations of guitar amps, bass amps, guitar pedals, all that kind of stuff. And I think it uses some sort of AI or some sort of technology that allows people to actually upload recordings of their own gear and turn it into plugin form, which is really cool. There's a lot of hype around it and there's a lot of people saying it's like the best guitar amp sim plugin ever. So I figured why not put that to the test and see what it's all about here. Without any further ado, this right here is the plugin, the Neural Amp Modeler. It's a very simple little interface, nothing crazy going on. There's an input, a noise gate, an EQ, and an output. And you'll notice that there are two categories here to select whatever presets you want. The catch here is that there are no presets built within the Neural Amp Modeler. You have to go to a separate website to find those. I think the website used to be called Tone Hunt. If you look up Tone Hunt on Google, you'll find that, but I think it's called Tone 3000 now. But on that website, if you go to browse, you'll find all the different presets that people have created, and I have already taken the liberty of downloading a bunch of them for us to try here today. So once you have your presets downloaded, all you gotta do is find the folder and then click on the file that says .nam, and then that will bring up the preset. You can also download impulse responses, which I don't really know what that is. It is a sonic snapshot measuring the exact sound of a complete amplifier setup. But I don't think you need to use IRs on this, you can also just use the models. The first batch of presets that I'm gonna try out here are from this boost pedal library. This one is just called 33. We're gonna stand up for this. I think it sounds better with the neck pickup than the bridge humbucker. This is supposed to be a blues breaker. That is a lot of high end taken out of that one. To be honest, these all sound really similar. This is, I think, heavy metal. That one's different. That one definitely sounds different. That one's cool. I like that. Here's a metal zone. Metal zones are supposed to be really good, I've heard. I like that one. That one's cool. It's a nice little dirty kind of boost. Okay, last one for the boost pedals. I think this one is supposed to be a tube screamer. Let's see about an amp now. Let's check out an amp of some kind. Alright, so one thing you'll see a lot with these Neural Amp Modeler presets is that there will be different versions of people changing the settings on whatever gear they're using. So this one, I'm pretty sure they're just changing the volume on the different settings. So that's why even though it might say Fender Super Deluxe, there will be 5 different presets under there. It's just different settings essentially. That one's cool. I like the sound of this. Okay, this is volume 5. Wow, a little bit of distortion. Okay, volume 10. That is just an unbelievable amount of distortion. I feel like I would never use a Fender amp in that way, blast the volume so it's so distorted. The thing I love about Fender amps is just the clean tones that they can get. Which is why I like this setting. However, I will say that this is a Fender Deluxe Reverb. I would like to hear more reverb. I don't really hear that much reverb on this. It seems to me like the plugin is really good at doing distortion sounds, but it's not really very good for any other kind of effects. I was looking for chorus pedals and flangers and that kind of thing. I don't think it really does that. I think it's more of just amp with distortion, and distortion and overdrive pedals. This one is Fender Super Reverb 1977. It's cool. it's a lot darker. This is another example. This guy has multiple presets, but they're recorded with different microphones. So I think this one is with an SM57 and the other one was with an AKG 414 or something. And then this one is both the SM57 and the 414. Let's try out this Marshall JCM 25. A lot of distortion, I can tell already. That actually sounds really good. I've never really been a huge Marshall amp guy, but I really love this distorted tone. That lead sounds really good too. Honestly, I think that one might be my favorite so far. Alright, so this one is the MXR Rockman plugin or something. The Rockman piece of gear thing is supposed to be like a headphone amp. The only reason I even really know about it is because McGee has a song called Rockman. But I guess it's a headphone amp that has like a chorus and it has some distortion on it. This sound right here, I'll be honest, is just not good. It's like as if I'm hearing it through like a ham radio, so I'm not really a fan of this sound. I'm a little disappointed with that one, specifically because I was kind of looking forward to it, but hey, you know, not all of them can be winners, I guess. This one is a Roland JC120. I'll be honest, it doesn't really sound a whole lot different from the Fender ones that I was playing earlier. I think the Super Deluxe, or is that what it's called? Super Reverb? Super Duper? The Fender Super Duper. The Fender Super Reverb. I think the Fender Super Reverb 77 preset was probably my favorite clean tone. I hate to say it, but they're kind of just like pretty basic. Like, it's cool, I don't have a problem with it, but I feel like it's just such a basic amp sound, you know? Also, none of them really have any reverb, and a lot of these amps have a built-in reverb with them. For that reason, it just kind of sounds unnatural, and of course a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you can just add a reverb plugin or whatever, but I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of an amp modeler. Like, you want it to sound pretty accurate to the way the amp would sound. These presets just don't really have much ambience at all. Like, it just immediately stops. When I saw this one, I'll be honest, I got pretty excited because it's a Tascam 424 dirty preamp setting, which is like exactly what McGee does with his guitar. To explain it very quickly, he uses the Tascam 424 or 414, I don't know, he uses a Tascam old cassette recorder in order to get like a cool distortion thing from the preamps. So he turns the preamp thing up all the way and then adjusts his guitar volume so that he can play kind of softly, but then when he plays hard, it distorts the heck out of his guitar. So I'm gonna try to recreate that here. Alright, so I think I kind of got it. You really have to dial in your tone very precisely, but if you bring the volume on your guitar low enough, you get a pretty good clean tone. But then if you play a lot harder, you get that distorted sound, which is very cool that this plugin can do that. That honestly might be my favorite thing this plugin can do so far. Another similar thing that somebody did was they recorded their 1073 preamp being pushed pretty hard too. So you can do a pretty similar thing with that as well. Personally, to me, that type of distortion, it's a very specific preamp being distorted kind of distortion. It just kind of breaks up in a way that almost sounds like square. That probably makes no sense, but like to me, that's what it sounds like in my head. I personally just love the sound of that type of distortion, so this plugin is really good for specifically that. Okay, so here we also have a preset for the Op Amp Big Muff, which is essentially like the Smashing Pumpkins signature sound. That one's cool. Once again, very dry, I'll say. Alright, so I did download a couple bass amp sim presets. We are going to see how those sound. The first one is the Ampeg SVT. That's with gain on 10. This is, I think, just normal. That sounds cool. SM75. What is an SM75? The pick sounds really good with that preset. Honestly, I'm already kind of liking this bass amp better than the guitar amps that I heard. I also downloaded a Fender Bassman 50 preset as well. Almost part of me feels like some of these presets are just more copying the distortion than actually copying the sound of the amp. I feel like a big thing that I want to hear out of an amp sim plugin is kind of the sound of the room that it's recorded in. If I wanted a DI sound, I would just record DI and not have to worry about like the echo of the room that I'm in or having any sort of ambience or whatever. I don't know, to me it's just not as pleasing to my ear because it's just so dry on all these presets, which I'm sure there are probably some of you out there who are like, well, that's the point, it's supposed to be dry so that you can like manipulate it better and have better control over the sound, or like whatever the point is. But I personally just, if I'm gonna get a plugin that emulates an amp, I want there to be an option to like adjust how much room you're hearing, add some reverb, add some other onboard effects and things like that, more than just here is the absolute rawest form of what's coming out of the amp. Hello, I'm down here now. Alright, so at this point, I've tested the plugin pretty extensively. First thing I'm gonna say is that it's definitely overhyped, for sure. I feel like every single video or forum post or anything where anybody was talking about this plugin, they made it seem like it was just the greatest plugin ever and it's gonna sound exactly like all the amps that it's emulating. I don't know if it's an exact emulation. Anybody who has the actual amps can let me know if it sounds similar or sounds exactly the same. And I don't know if I'm just missing something here, but I just don't really see what's so great about it. I feel like a lot of the presets are very similar. A lot of them really weren't super good quality to my ear, and because the plugin sound itself is just really kind of dry, I feel like you would really have to use it in conjunction with other plugins, so adding some reverb, adding some delay plugins and stuff like that, which is fine normally, but the problem with that is that this plugin takes up so much CPU. I don't know if that's just a me thing, my CPU is not great anyways, but there are plenty of other plugins that my computer can run totally fine while screen recording and everything, but even just having the one instance of this plugin open, my CPU was definitely struggling. Even though it does seem like I'm kind of hating on the plugin, I will say that for a free plugin, the plugin is great. It didn't really live up to my expectations personally, but it might be the perfect plugin for you. You might as well just try it out because it's totally free. And the availability of all the different sounds out there that they have is kind of amazing as well. Overall, I think it's a cool plugin to mess around with and you totally should, but I will say don't expect to have your mind just absolutely blown by this plugin like I was. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this plugin down in the comments below. I think that's just about gonna do it for me in this video here today. Thank you all for watching this one. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video.